Hi everyone. Hope you all are good. We are here for grade 8 math. You can find all the lessons on aplusstudents.com. You have to log in there using your email address and password as provided by the administrator. Then you have to select math from the subject tab. Scroll down to grade 8 math and then click on view all lessons. There you can find a list of the chapters. We're going to start with the chapter functions. The lessons we're going to cover today are identify functions, does xy satisfy the linear function, identify independent and dependent variables, and rate of change. So please make sure you have your notebook and pencil so that you can note down the important examples and definitions as well. When I'm on grade 8 math, the chapter we are on right now is functions. Let's just start with the lesson that is identify functions. Look at this graph. Is this relation a function? So you are given a graph. The graph has 3 points, right? How do we see if that is a function? A relation is a function if each x value is paired with exactly one y value. So that means you can see the points, right? This is the x value. So for this x value, maybe it's 9 or 10, right? You have only 1 point. For this value, you have x equals 0. But here you have another point for x equals maybe 5. So for here, this one, all the x values have only one y value, right? So that means if each x value is paired with exactly one y value, then that is a graph. You can use a vertical line test on a graph to determine whether the relation is a function. It is impossible to draw a vertical line that intersects the graph more than once. Then each x value is paired with only one y value. So the relation is function. If it is possible to draw a vertical line that intersects the graph more than once, then there is an x value that is paired with more than one y value. So the relation is not a function. So that means if you do vertical line test, right? If the line does not intersect the graph more than once, that means that is a function, right? And if the line intersects the graph more than once, then that is not a function, right? Let's just start with the test questions. Okay, look at this set of ordered pairs. You have 15, 19, 15, -5, 9, 5, 15, 6. The first values are the x values, the second values are the y values, right? So you can see you have same x value 15, 15, 15. They have different y values, right? So that is not a function. For each x value, there is only one y value. So that is not a function. For each x value, there is only one y value. So this one is not a function. The correct option is no, that isn't a function. Look at this graph. Is this relation a function? Yes or no? The correct option is yes, that is a function. Look at this table. Is the relation a function? The correct option is yes, that is a function because for each x value, there is only one y value. Very good. Look at this set of ordered pair. Is this a relation a function? The correct option is no. You can see the each x value maps to two different y values, right? One x value. Here you have 1 to 15 and 1 to 17. So the correct option that isn't a function. Look at this graph. Is this relation a function? The correct option is yes, that is a function. Option number one is the correct option. Very good. Look at this table. Is this relation a function? The correct option is yes, that is a function. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is does xy satisfy the linear relation function? Let's just start with the lesson. Does the point 0, 0 satisfy the equation y equals x? So we are given the equation that is y equals x. Also, we are given the point 0, 0. So that is the ordered pair that has the value x equals 0 and y equals 0. So when you replace the variables with their values, they both are exactly equal, right? Let's just start with the test questions. Does 1, 0 make the equation y equals x true? So 1 and 0. X is 1 and y is 0, right? The equation is y equals x. So just replace the function variables with the value, right? Y is 0, x is 1, and they are not equal, right? So that means the correct option is no. The 1, 0 makes the y equals x equation true. The correct option is no. Option number 2 is the correct option. Does the point 61 satisfy the equation? That is y equals 6x, right? The ordered pair you are given is x is 6, y is 1, right? So x is 6, y is 1. 1 is not equal to 36. So the correct option is no. Option number 2 is the correct option. Does the point 2 satisfy the equation y equals x? The correct option is yes, they are. The point satisfies the equation, right? The correct option is yes. Does the point 3, 1 is 3, 1 a solution to equation y equals 2x, which is the correct option? The correct option is no. Option number 2 is the correct option, right? Is 3, 1 a solution to the equation? The correct option is no. Does the point 40 satisfy the equation y equals 4x? The correct option is no. Option number 2 is the correct option. The point 76 satisfy the equation y equals x, which is the correct option. The correct option is no. The point 76 does not satisfy the equation y equals x. Very good. The correct option is no. Does the point 80 satisfy the equation y equals x plus 8? So, which is the correct option? X is the correct option is no. Option number 2 is the correct option. Does 0 make the equation y equals 9x true, which is the correct option? The correct option is yes, it is. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is identify independent and dependent variables. Brody is assembling prize baskets for a raffle. The number of prizes that were donated determines the number of baskets he makes. P equals the number of prizes donated and B equals the number of baskets Brody make. Which of the variable is independent and which is dependent? So when you are reading the question, there is a very important line in the question. You need to read the question again and let's see which words they are. Brody is assembling prize baskets for a raffle. The number of prizes that were donated determines the number of baskets he makes. That is very important line. You need to understand. First thing, let's just see which is the dependent variable and which is the independent variable, right? So the number of prizes determines the number of basket. So that means the number of prizes is dependent on the number of baskets. P is independent and B is the dependent. P is the independent variable, the number of prizes are independent, and the number of baskets are the dependent variable. Got it? Number of prizes are independent and the number of baskets are the dependent variable. Let's just start with the test questions. Tisha works at a small company that sells books online and is responsible for mailing out the books to customer. Every morning, she gets in line at the local post office and estimate the length of her wait. The more people, this is the important thing, the more people in the more people in the line ahead of her, the longer she will need to wait. That means the wait is dependent on the people's, right? The more people, the more she have to wait. So that means the time is dependent on the people. So time P is the number of people and W is the number of time she have to wait, right? So the question is which of the variable is independent and which is dependent? P is the independent variable and W is the dependent variable. W depends on the people in the line. If there is more people in the line, she have to wait more. Option number one is the correct option. W is independent and P is Keith is clearing space in the garden to plant some vegetables. The area available for planting will determine how many vegetables Keith can plant. You can see here. The area of planting will determine how many vegetables Keith can plant. If she have more area, she can plant more vegetables. That means vegetables are dependent on the area. Vegetables are dependent on the area. A is independent variable and P is the dependent variable. The more the area, the more the vegetables. So A is the independent variable and P is the dependent variable, isn't it? Option number two is the correct option. The second one, that's the second one. Just understand the question first. David brings reusable shopping bags from home whenever he goes to store. The number of products on the shopping list influences how many reusable bags he brings to the store. Now let's just read this line again. The number of products, the number of products on his list influences how many reusable bag he brings to the store. If he has more products, he will buy more reusable bag. So reusable bags are dependent on the products. So P is the independent variable and B is the dependent variable. P is the number of products and B is the number of bags. Bags are dependent on the products. The more products he have, he needs more bag. So bags are dependent on the product. P is independent, P is the product, products are independent, and B is the dependent variable. Carrie is designing programs for her daughter's high school graduation. The number of pages in each program is dictated by the number of graduates. So P equals the number of pages in each program and G equals the number of graduates. Which of the variable is independent and which is dependent? So which is the correct option? So if you have more graduates, you have more pages, right? That means the number of pages are dependent on the number of graduates. So P is the dependent variable. Option number one is the correct option. G is independent and P is dependent variable. Very good. Mario is having the carpets in his house cleaned. The area of carpets is used to calculate the cost of cleaning. What is the variable? Which variable is dependent and which is independent? So, which is the correct option? The correct option is the cost is dependent on the area, right? So area is independent and cost is dependent. Option number one is the correct option. Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. Let me just move on to next lesson. The next lesson is rate of change. Each year, the Newberry School District publishes its annual budget, which includes information on the sports programs per pre-student spending. According to the graph, what was the rate of change between 2006 and 2008? So here is 2006 and here is 2008. So in 2008, that is 69, and 2006, that is 65. And the difference between 2006 and 2008 to 2 years, right? So calculate the change in value divided by change in time. That is $2 per year. Let's just start with the test question. At Stafford Consulting, the head of human resources examined how the number of employees with healthcare benefit varied in response to various policy changes. According to the table, what was the rate of change between 2009 and 2012? So 2009 and 2012, right? That is 41 minus 44, and you have 2012 minus 2009. So that is 3 over 3. That is -1. -1 employee per day. Okay, so let's just move on to the next one. A dog show enthusiast recorded the weight of the winning dog at recent dog shows. According to the graph, what was the rate of change between 2004 to 2006? That is option number one, 15 kilogram per year. Option number one is the correct option. -15. Mm, okay, yes, that is -15. Sorry. Option two is the correct option, not one. Whitney entered the amount she charged on her credit card each month into a spreadsheet. According to the table, what was the rate of change between April and June? So, which is the correct option? $3 per month. Option number one is the correct option. Each year, the Newberry School District publishes its annual budget, which includes information on the sports programs per student spending. According to the graph, what was the rate of change between 2006 and 2008? So, which is the correct option? That's the $2 per year. Option number two is the correct option. A Girl Scout troop recorded how many boxes of cookies they sold each day for a week. According to the table, what was the rate of change between Tuesday and Friday? So, which is the correct option? The correct option is 6 boxes per day. Franklin kept track of the number of games his soccer team won each year. According to the graph, what was the rate of change between 2003 and 2006? So, which is the correct option? Yes, that is one game per year, right? Okay, you can complete the lesson by yourself later today. So, we were working on grade 8 math. The chapter we were working on is functions. The lessons we have covered today are identify functions. Does xy satisfy the linear function? Identify independent and dependent variables and rate of change. So please make sure before the next session you can complete all the practice questions for the lessons we just did. That is your homework until next session. So if you need more help with any of the lesson, you can simply click on the live chat button. Tutors are available there to help you, or either you can write down the question in the chat box. I'm here to answer all your questions and confusions if you have any. So you can please write down the question in the chat box if you need more help with any of the lesson. No questions? Okay.